Okay. Hello! Welcome back to my channel. My name's Izzy. It's very nice to meet you. Or it's very good to see you today. How are you doing? If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll stick around. And if you're a returning subscriber, you are so beautiful. I love you. Welcome back. It's so good to see you again. Today, in honor of my birthday, honestly, in honor of the end of 2020, I thought I'd go through 22 things I learned while I was 22. Before I turned 22, because I'm 21. Maybe my 22nd year of existence, and now I've completed the 22nd year, and so now I'm going into 23. Maybe? Who knows? Time's fake. 22 things that I'm also still learning. So this is not like hey, I'm fixed. These are definitely some lessons that have come and gone and that return very frequently this year. My birthday is right between Christmas and New Year's, so I get a lot of time to reflect and get ready for the new year. So I thought that we would go through 22 things that I learned when I was 22. So let's get started. Nature can heal. Really, it can. Like being outside, even just like having windows, even just being able to like recalibrate with the sun. You can always return to nature and trust that you will feel refreshed by it. Nature can heal. Number 2, no one thing can solve everything. So that can't be a person. A person cannot solve everything. Achieving a goal that you've been wanting for a long time, that cannot solve everything. Definitely not getting into your dream school or getting your dream job, that will not solve everything. It's a long process with many different parts, and things will not ever be inevitably be solved. Don't pin all of your happiness and hopes on one thing. Number 3, you do not have to do good things to be good. You do not have to constantly be proving yourself to be enough. You are enough as you are. My therapist told me, like, maybe up until this point you thought that you had to do good things, get good grades, fulfill a checklist of right things to do. Maybe I thought that those were ways that I was proving constantly how much of a person I was, when in reality you don't have to prove that. You are enough. Number 4, the theme of this channel, you are not bad. This is a mantra that I came up with at the beginning of this year when I was really struggling. My negative self-talk always turns towards this thought that like I'm a bad person, I'm a bad friend, I'm a bad student, I'm a bad blah blah blah. But like there is always room to better yourself. There's always room for growth. Ultimately harmful to say that you are a bad person and that's it. So you are not capital B bad. You make mistakes, you do things, but there's always room for growth. So. Number 5, people's perceptions of you are beyond your control. As I've stated before, I really want to be liked, but it is not my job to manage my image in their eyes, if that makes sense. To a certain extent, yes, I'm presenting myself to you in a certain way. Once I present it, it is their task. It is their responsibility to deal with how they see me and how they perceive me, and it's not my job to take all of that on myself. There's no need to feel like you have to control that. Number 6, choose people who choose you in return. I feel like many things come down to who you choose, whether it's who you choose to listen to, who you choose to look up to, whose opinions you value, who you spend your time and your energy with, things like that. Not necessarily having all relationships be based in reciprocity, but it's very unhealthy to pine. It's very unhealthy to have this power imbalance between you and this other person. And so it is best to invest in the people that you feel held by and that you want to hold as well. Number 7, your body is telling you things all the time and it is best to listen to it. Headaches, feeling tired, feeling like bodily stress, feeling anxious, like your body's telling you things all the time, and you would do very well to listen to it. I mentioned before like how I track food and how I track sleep and stuff in order to like figure out what's good. Easier said than done, but practicing listening to that and trying to get to know your body better is a very worthwhile pursuit. Number 8, there is so much nuance in everything, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm trying to figure out how to hold nuance in everything. I'm still learning it. I don't know what to say. Number 9, it's okay to simply find systems that work best for you, and it's okay if it's different from what other people expect. This can be as simple as like, oh, like all of your friends are studying all together and that's what they do, but you need to study by yourself. That's great. Just find what works best for you, you know? You don't have to follow convention all the time, because convention is not necessarily always the right answer. Like, nothing is one size fits all. So taking a lot of energy to find the things that work best for you is really, really important. Number 10, this is something that I learned from this one book that I'll leave in the description below. Behaviors have goals, whether you realize them or not. So if there are things about me that I want to grow out of or that I want to change, it's best to maybe figure out what exactly my goal is when I'm acting a certain way, and seeing if that aligns with what I want my goal to be in the most vague way possible. Again, that's something I'm still learning. So number 11, love is choosing that person or that thing every single day. And that doesn't necessarily mean like a fair weather all the time positive kind of way, but it definitely means that you are actively choosing this person, and you want to be engaged, and you want to figure out what's best, and you want to work together. That's what love is to me. That's right now. And number 12, love is also choosing yourself every day, which ties into number 13, which is like, you have to be your own best friend. I definitely have had a long stint of not being a friend to myself and bending my own wills to fit other people, their wants, fit their expectations of me, stuff like that. And so, but I wouldn't give the friend that advice to do that. I would tell them to be themselves. I'd tell them to have faith in themselves like I tell you. And so I need to be my own best friend. I need to choose myself every day. I need to have the confidence in myself, guarding my energy and my spirit. You know what I mean? Number 14, managing energy is key. This also comes with like framing your mindset. Those are all ways to manage your energy, figuring out how you should spend your energy smarter and how you should distribute it in certain ways, whether it's reducing the time that you think about something or do something, or figuring out your balance when you need to change things up is very important. Okay, number 15, working, doing, moving, flowing, creating. These are all forms of rest, and sometimes completely stopping is not necessarily what is needed or what is best for you in that moment. I learned this because I have a tendency to just stop. I have a tendency to sleep a lot. I have a tendency to just take a break and become a potato. And sometimes I need that. But also, I can only do that so much before I don't actually feel like I'm getting any better. And so recognizing other forms of rest, which could be refreshing yourself with creating or with going on a walk or something like that. This doesn't mean that you have to be productive as a form of rest, but this does mean that maybe trying to think of alternative ways to refuel. That's good. Number 16, you must give yourself permission to pursue yourself and your best interests. I say give yourself permission because there are a lot of things that can hold you back, like guilt, fear, embarrassment, and shame, and stuff like that. I'm not saying that you choose unhappiness. I guess the only way that I can think of to describe it is like sometimes you just need to say, you are allowed this, you are allowed to do this. You are allowed to be happy, you're allowed to pursue your own wants and needs, you're allowed to say no. Stuff like that, you know? And like, I'm still learning this. This is not something that comes easy, but the first step is recognizing that you are deserving of good things and you are allowed. You are allowed. You are enough. Number 17, you cannot face the world on your own. You must share it with others. You cannot exist in a vacuum. You must. I used to have this joke / not really a joke where I would say like, I really do not want to be perceived by anyone. And like, that was only kind of true, but what was actually happening was that I didn't like myself. What was actually happening was that I was afraid of letting people down and being rejected. And so I kind of carved myself out before I could be rejected or anything like that. But you cannot hide from people forever. People will always be there and people make life very wonderful. So you must share it with other people, but of course work on yourself. But other people can help you work on yourself too, you know? It's like, you can't hide yourself and you can't shut yourself in. Okay, number 18. Free time does not mean availability to others. You are allowed to have time where you don't want to interact with people. You're allowed to have time where you want to rest and you need time to recharge. Don't equate any amount of free time that you have or any amount of time where you're like not doing anything as a time when you are available to other people. Because then what? Then you won't have time for yourself. And also it's best to like take that mindset and also apply it to other people. Just because someone's scrolling through Instagram or you see them doing stuff, or just because you know that they're off hours, does not mean that they're available to you, because maybe they don't have the energy to do that. Maybe they need to rest. So number 19, vulnerability and privacy can coexist. Maybe this is obvious, but I didn't know that. I won't get into this. Privacy and vulnerability can coexist, and honestly they feed each other very well. Number 20, new beginnings and new shifts always come all the time. I've talked about this before in my stagnation video. Things are always shifting, new beginnings are always happening, and of course, New Year's is kind of an arbitrary time, but we do it anyway, and we set intentions, and we go into the year wanting to try again and start anew. Declare those beginnings for yourself. Do whatever you want. Whenever you feel like something's changing, then say like, this is the start. Write it down, talk about it, make yourself a little video log on your phone, say it to a friend, make it real. New beginnings are happening all the time. Number 21 also comes from this book that I'm reading. It is important to discern which things are your tasks and which things are not. So this could mean, okay, it's not your task to manage how other people view you, or you might hear versions of this in the phrase, that's not my problem, that's not my responsibility, I don't know anyone anything. You have your own tasks and other people have their tasks. And taking on other people's things or taking on too many tasks that ultimately you cannot fulfill because they belong to someone else will lead you to a lot of problems. I'm still learning this. I do not have fully fleshed out thoughts about this, and so I'm trying to be more discerning about which things I can manage, which things are within my own capabilities to accomplish, and which things are simply not. And number 22, you are on time, you're doing what you can, and that's enough. That is enough. That is not to say that you shouldn't do more, or like that you are done where you are and like that's it. That is to say that you should not feel like you are behind. You should not feel like you are bad or incapable or not doing enough. You are on your own time and things are happening as they should, and you should be very proud of yourself for trying and for continuing to want to get better. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit low energy right now. I've had a rough couple hours, but I am proud of what came out of it, and I'm excited to share this with you. I'm excited to move on to next year and learn more things. And maybe some of these things will be on next year's list because I still have not fully internalized them. Maybe new things have revealed themselves to me about any of these things that further drive the point home. Who knows? But these are some things that I'm thinking about and some things I want to share with you. If you like this video, go ahead, please leave a comment, leave a like, and a subscribe. Tell me what's up, say hi. I love it when you talk to me. And I'm gonna go, but I will see you very soon. I love you very much. I hope that you are doing well. I hope you're hanging in there. Just remember that I said it earlier, you're not bad. You're getting better all the time. And I'll see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.